Welcome back to Adri's Farmhouse Kitchen. Today we are in a garden. It is 19th of June and I would like to show you around all my 21 raised bed and down the 2 fence. How is everything doing? So if you're interested, you are welcome. Let's go watch the vlog, friends. It is still fairly early. I think it's about 7, half 7 in the morning, so it's beautiful temperature. Today is gonna be one of the hottest day. I think it's about 30 degrees Celsius. So I'm really looking forward to it. But look how well this bed is doing. So as for now, in 19th of June, we have still got 2 rows of these lovely garlic. These ones are on the smaller side. I don't know what they look like. They're not ready yet. How I know the garlic is ready to harvest when at least 3 of these leaves are gonna dry. But I am using now in a garden as we go, you know, if my recipe needs a garlic, I harvest some. Look how gorgeous the cosmos is. Wow. What is doing really well in the middle, after now the asparagus gone to seed, are our beautiful purple sprouting broccoli. Actually, what is happening in here, I can see the broccoli inside. So we might have an early harvest on some. We've got few dahlias in between what I've sown from seed. And we have got some glass gem popcorn doing really well actually in this bed because it got plenty space and sun. And the both side, the short side, I have got snapdragon. Well, it's slowly but surely growing, but also what it's doing well are fire tongue beans all along in here, and I'm going to encourage them to go just over these little hoops. So this bed is looking rather good. I'm very happy with this bed. Behind us, in a glorious jungle, it's all sorts happening. So what I'm gonna do now, I'm just gonna take out some of these lettuces, friends, so you can give it to the chickens. They are now sending these, this just broke off. So this was basically this tall, sending flour. So we don't need that. And that will give more room for the onion and the beetroot there. So chickens will absolutely love it, and the goats and the alpacas. So I'm gonna take all out what now going to seed. And then I'm gonna get the wheelbarrow and give it to the chickens, friends. We haven't had a lot of these unfortunately, although it's looking so good. It's like a spinach. The arcade baby leaf lettuce. Right, so this now will give more space for these little struggling onions to grow because it's just so much happening in here. But what is doing well in here, the beetroot, actually some of the beetroot are now ready to harvest, and the onions are looking fantastic, although they would appreciate probably more sun to their bulb. So when I harvest the beetroot and the chard, the onion's gonna be so much happier. Over here is a nice size one. We can harvest this one for sure. I like it when it's kind of this size. And we've got some lovely ones all along because I've just checked them earlier. You can't even tell that I took all these lettuces out of this bed. Still look rather full. So we are still in the same bed, just in the other side. And before these lovely purple lettuces go to seed, we really need to harvest this as well. We've got a few parsnip there, maybe not great in this bed. And I think as soon we harvest this lettuce, I think that's when the onions can start proper growing the bulbs. And we need to harvest juniper. My milk goat loves the chard. Couple of, in fact, volunteer potatoes, got calendula and lovely parsley. Parsley is doing really well because it's shaded. Look how gorgeous this lovely cosmos is, and it's full of bees and insects. One just came along. Morning, bumblebee. And the beans are now ready. Send the tenders up, ready to climb. This is the garlic bed, and this one, it's gonna be an amazing garlic harvest. I can tell that for sure, because it's looking fantastic, and I can actually see the bulbs now poking in some and looking a really nice size. So the one row of carrot has literally gone to nothing now, but the other row is growing nicely, so that's good. The Speedo F1. What I was actually thinking, I would like to bring out my garden journals and write down what's doing well and what's doing not well, what appreciated the overcrowded, intercropping, what not so much, so I can be better next year. The coriander, I am thinking about it, leave it to harvest it as a coriander seed or just pull it out, but at the moment there is nobody's way, so I think I'm just going to leave it, friends. Half of this bed, ranunculus, gladioli, and some zinnia. Actually, I've got zinnia all along, and on the other side. And we are very close to this first ranunculus to open, so I'm really excited. There's a few along in here actually, and I'm glad that this eucalyptus quite like the environment in this bed. So I was thinking, when I'm going to harvest it as a bouquet to take it to the kitchen, I can use some of these eucalyptus leaves. It's not just for the nice scent, but it looks amazing in like a bouquet. But I would love to see it grow a little bit taller and bushier so we can harvest some, I'm not gonna harm the plant. But at the moment, I've harvested some snapdragons already, small bouquets now in the kitchen at the moment from the old house. But from here, we've got lots of zinnia and lots of dahlias. I'll show you in a minute in the next bed. But the gladiolus is not up yet. Zinnias are beautiful now, some in the polytunnel, I'll show you in a minute. So we can actually harvest the bouquet, to be honest. So same bed, still the same bed, just moved along. We've got 2 rows of peppermint chard. Let me show you how gorgeous that stem is looking. Look at this vibrant, pinky, beautiful color. And the zinnias, the cosmos, again looking amazing. What I do on a daily basis, I take, the one what's gone to seed, I'm just gonna snip this flower head off, what's gone to seed now, because at the moment I would like to see more flowers coming in. By doing this will encourage the flower to grow. We've got a lot more going on in here. We'll probably see in the next garden tour. Straw flowers might be out, some of the snapdragon and more dahlia. Before we move along, I have planted all along this fence, so it's quite a long fence, lots of things. So most of it in this side has got rose. Look at this beautiful one. All's got lovely scent. This variety, it's called Golden Showers, and looking fantastic. I've also planted borage in here. From seed, we've got sunflower, sweet pea. I'm hoping this is mullein. Blueberry, not doing so well. Again over here, this one is bushed up now really nicely. It is beautiful. What's the variety of this one? Parade. Beautiful rose. We've also got some more mullein in here and sunflowers. And again sweet pea and borage as well for the pollinators. As you can see all along in those big black tubs, they're all potatoes. So in between the potatoes are the little molehill looking dirt and compost where I have planted all sorts of climbers and flowers. And in between we've got the potato tub. Over here I've planted straw flower. We've got, is it fennel? Yeah. Fennel, borage, sunflower. We've got as a climber scented honeysuckle, Japonica Halliana. And also we've got sweet peas, calendula, strawberry. We've got coneflower. Behind us the alpacas waiting for the breakfast. So I have planted a couple of zinnias in here. Borage is doing amazing. We've got sea buckthorn behind me too. I'm hoping it's a male and a female because you need both to produce fruit. At the moment we've got nothing on it, have no flower, no fruit. So we've got also calendula in here and what is it called? Loganberry. Loganberry is still tiny. In the old house I've just been, it's got loads on it already. So if you look in the back behind me, we've done 4 beds, so we're just gonna finish off these 2 beds in a minute and then we're back to the tunnel. I've also planted 3 grapevines in here. At the beginning it was really cold, so I'm not sure if it's gonna make it. The first one has got a couple of, sign of cluster of fruit forming, but I'm not sure if it's gonna come to anything. But I'm happy that actually they survived, and hopefully the next couple of years we can have a lovely grape harvest in here. Look at this absolutely gorgeous looking flower bed. So this is one of my perennial beds. And we have got actually a bumblebee in this open poppy now, having a nice pollen. And I have brought the bulbs and the rhizomes over from the old house. So the dahlias, all the dahlias and the gladiolas from the old house. The poppies are volunteers. Snapdragons from seed, they're still looking absolutely tiny. They hang in there, so I'm not sure if they beautiful snapdragons on both sides, if they're gonna come to anything. I really hope so, but I think they are just shaded by these lovely gladiolas now. But you can tell this is now coming to the flowering season, looking absolutely fantastic. I am in love with this deep red dahlia. This one is coming back every year for me. I always leave it in the ground, I never dig it up, and it comes back bigger and better every year. So I've just actually moved this plant from the old house, so I'm surprised how well already established in this raised bed, all along with the rest of their cousin. So that deep red variety now it's opening, and this is gonna be next. I cannot wait. Looking so healthy and lush, this bed. I'm over the moon. And to my last bed, the big jungle, where I have got shallots growing along with lots of volunteers like poppy, lettuce, some volunteer potatoes. The row of potatoes I've put, and this cottager's kale have gone absolutely massive now. And there is somewhere in there, and it's still hanging on, a row of parsley. So probably that might do something when we harvest nearly everything in this bed. But Yeah, everything looking lush. I genuinely think the potato flowers are so pretty and they smell wonderful. Honestly, this tree kale, I can call it, it's absolutely massive. So yeah, we have just accomplished this side of the polytunnel. I call it the 6 raised beds. Everything is looking fantastic. I'm really happy with the progress. All the plants by the fence, I'm absolutely, you know, mesmerized how well they're doing, considering I've only been planting everything this year. And the other thing I am so chuffed with, although they are now going, but look behind us, all those absolutely amazing red hot pokers. They're doing so well. Right, let's go open up the tunnel, because now it's getting nearly 8 o'clock, and see what's happening in a polytunnel, friends. Well, welcome to the jungle, my heaven. So I've got 6 raised beds in here, and I always carefully choose the varieties of fruits and vegetables I grow in a polytunnel on my climate in England. So the privileged one is the ones what love heat. So with this extra protection, it can get really hot in here. So the cucurbits, you know, loofah, cucumbers, gherkin, courgette, pumpkin, squash, love it here. Although the tomatoes, peppers and chilies, sweet potatoes and anything what loves heat, it's got place in my polytunnel. Let's go and discover. So what is doing amazing for me this year are the peas. So I've got the 2 panel, this bed and a bed behind it, full of English garden peas, telephone and Meteo, the variety if you're interested. And I've also, you've just watched it. If you not, you can go back. The last vlog, I was canning, pressure canning English garden peas. So good. I have done 8-pound jars. First time I've canned peas. The reason is because I've never been successful growing that much that I could have pressure canned some. So I am over the moon. As you can see, it's still tons on it, and I am also thinking of freezing some. I think you need to blanch it first for a few minutes before you freeze it. I've got this amazing book, How to Freeze Your Harvest. I just can't find it nowhere. I've been looking for everywhere. I found pretty much all of my preserving books, you know, the dehydrator, freeze drying, canning, pressure canning, water bath canning. But I can't find my freeze your harvest. So I better stop eating. But I would like to eat fresh as much as we can. Cook with it, use it in salad, soups, stews, whatever, risotto. And then the rest I would like to freeze some, so then I can decide which one I prefer, the canned or the frozen, in the winter time when it's no fresh peas from the garden, friends. In this bed I have just sowed some coriander in the last vlog with you, so they're not up yet. I'm keeping it nice and moist, so hopefully we're gonna have some coriander harvest in here soon. I like putting on a side of the beds companion flowers. The reason I'm doing it, so it attracts the insects what pollinate our fruit and vegetables, and because I just love them, love to see them. So we've got zinnia, calendula, nasturtium. They're a couple of my favorites. And then, but you can see I've got a few more as we go along. I'll show you. In this bed, I absolutely love my volunteer flowers. The volunteer flowers are doing the best. This beautiful zinnia, no, this is the zinnia, and a cosmos, both volunteers, and the poppy, the pom-pom poppy, and they all looking fantastic. As you can tell, they are not taller than me, and it just gave me so much joy just to looking at that. It's so beautiful. Well, actually, you know, we can harvest some of these and make bouquet. I might do that when we finish the vlog. Go along and I'm just gonna harvest the first bouquet of the polytunnel, because these zinnias are doing fantastic, and the more we harvest them, the more flower they give us. I've got one couple of sweet corn growing in here. I've also got 2 rows of oca, and I've got the peppers. So we've got a couple of sweet chocolate peppers going in here. We've got a few on it now. We've got the volunteer squash over here behind the corn. I mean courgette. Oh, I've just seen the first one on it, friends. I'm so excited. So this one is the Milanese green, and so far I've only seen male flowers. So the male flowers are what's only a flower and a stem, and then the female is when you got the flower, and just below the flower you see the fruit, the courgette. And actually I've got one now, so I'm well chuffed. I've also got few more varieties, the sweet pepper, candy cane peppers in here. Oh, I'm not sure how, I might need to transport this, to be honest, because the courgette will overtake this now. And I've got some sweet potato also growing in here in this jungle. But yeah, I think I might move the sweet pepper, the candy cane, because there is no space for it there. And again, over here what I have, it's a volunteer squash plant. What I have sacrificed some of my peppers and chilies, to be honest, because I'm not sure how well they're gonna do now, because that squash, it's totally overtook this bed. And to be honest, friends, I should have some Red Bull's Horn pepper. This should be the pepper bed, let's put it that way, friends. It's absolutely gorgeous, magnificent. Sunflower I have not planted, it's a volunteer, but I had no heart to pull out. And this will send so much more on a side shoot, so we can take it to the house. So, I mean, it is gorgeous, you know, that would make a nice bouquet, some of these side shoots. So, I'm just keep sacrificing. So I sacrificed for lots of the peppers and chilies this year. I know they're not gonna do that well now, if they would have just be on their own in this bed. But it's just, all these volunteers are give so much extra and different food that I'm finding it hard which way to go, what to choose. But yes, you can see the cayenne pepper on the other hand, on the other side, are doing actually well. Look, I mean, we can harvest some of these as a green chilies. They are loving it, but they got more space in here in this few sides. So, and I've got plenty anyway to make the fire water. I'm gonna make some powder and crushed, you know, probably freeze-dried chili with it. Marigold. I've got the best year for the marigold as well. Look at this beautiful dill jungle. Can you hear the bumblebee? Happily visiting the squash flowers. My absolutely magnificent row of Holland late winter cabbages. Cabbages actually like cold, so I am surprised how well they are doing in the polytunnel. In between we have got lots of flowers, nasturtium, snapdragon, we've got some chili actually growing. We've got, so this is my bean arch for this year. We've got all sorts of beans growing up in here. That one, it just looks amazing, this volunteer, amazing. Oh, smelling pom-pom poppy. Again, this magnificent cosmos jungle. I've got peppers and chilies along as well. Oh, I love, full of insects. I'm actually discovering like new insects every day. I love it. We've got sweet peas along. They are now coming to flower. Sweet peas gonna smell amazing. They are very close to opening, so I cannot wait. over here we've got another magnificent volunteer winter squash, full of squash. So all the volunteer winter squash are now putting up different size and different shapes of squash on it. So I am just so excited. I really hope they are edible, friends, because they are volunteers, so they definitely cross-pollinate. Look at my beautiful, I've got a bumblebee on the, did you see, on the potatoes? I've got potato seed. I'm gonna take this off and I'm just going to chuck it. But all my beautiful potatoes are now in flower. We are already harvested some, so some are now ready to harvest. I've got all stages in here actually. I had to come out from the polytunnel because my camera was keep turning itself off. I'm not sure if it's the heat or my camera or the battery. But so I've decided to come out. So we're on the other side of the tunnel now. I've got 3 potato raised beds and I've got 1 in a tunnel. When we go back to the tunnel, I'll show you the one what now it's ready to harvest. They wilted back and we are already started harvesting. That's the first early. The second early is just this one. So this one already is the second early, the Charlotte. As you can see, now it's wilting. The leaves are flowering. I had a friend over another day and says, oh, what's wrong with your potatoes? I said, it's nothing wrong at all. It's just a sign of maturity and it's just a sign that they are now ready to harvest. I actually can leave it until it's completely die back. While I was growing up back home, my parents, grandparents, great-grandparents, as I remembered, they've always left their potato leaves and stems, so everything above ground completely die back before they harvested their potatoes. So, but I can harvest some of these, especially the ones what wilted, because I'm sure I'm gonna have a lovely harvest in there. But these 2 behind me, the main crops, are still in full bloom, so I won't be harvesting these ones until about August time. So the first early what's in the tunnel I'm harvesting now in June. July is gonna be the second early Charlotte, and August, September time it's gonna be my main crops what going to storage for the winter. What I have experimented with are putting brassicas and cabbage within the potatoes. I mean, the red cabbage is looking absolutely amazing. So I have put the Holland Late Winter. This one is actually not too bad, but all along in here and on a smaller side. And with the second early potato, the Charlotte, I've planted some kohlrabi. Although the green looking lush, because this was a very fertile soil by the looks of it, the actual kohlrabi is still on the small side. So this is my pea, another pea variety. What was the sugar snap pea, but now it's filled up with proper peas inside. And my broad beans bed. The broad beans and the peas are now ready to harvest. The dill now is going over. We got purple sprouting broccoli in here growing. In this bed it's got these beautiful flowers, the marshmallows, along with some red onions. The red onions are going to flower, so I'm just when I see these little flower heads, I'm snipping these off, otherwise the energy would go to create flower seed and not the bulb. So I'm just taking these off. Every time I see one come in, I just snip it off. I really like how this speckled trout lettuce looking. Absolutely fantastic. In the middle we had asparagus, now they're gone to flower. And then we've got cauliflower in the middle growing. And absolutely jardy and ivory, the beautifully looking kale all along, looking fantastic, along with some garlic. So what I have done all along in here again, by the fence in the other side, I have planted all sorts of flowers and climbers to grow, and they are looking magnificent and give me so much joy. There is some chamomile we can harvest now, just in the middle and towards the back. We've got lots of beautiful rose, zinnia now in flower, borage, calendula, so I'm so happy. And that was the red hot poker I was pointing at earlier, how well they are doing. They are now going over but they gave me the prettiest flower display, friends, and the insects absolutely love it. So we are back to the polytunnel, and this is the first early potato bed. I wanted to show you what it's now. As you can see, it's dying back, and these potatoes are ready to harvest. And we've also got a row of red cabbage doing really well in here. And the last 3 beds in here are the 3 tomato beds. So we've got slices, paste and cherries, along with volunteer magnificent ginormous sunflowers and volunteer winter squashes overtaking the tunnel. So let me show you. So the both side of this raised bed has got a volunteer squash. So one side is coming down here, and the other side I had to move right back because now reached the second row of raised beds. So it's all along, it's coming, and it's full of squash. Right, not complaining, just saying it's taking over. So this side of the arch, as you can see, I'm not sure if I've showed you the arch. So that's the big arch, a hoop. What I would like the tomatoes eventually, and the climbers, like whatever I've got in there, gherkins, cucumbers, sweet peas, beans, all sorts go along the arch. But this row in here are the paste variety, and if I bring you closer, you can actually see some of the San Marzano beautiful tomatoes are now forming there. Can you see? We've got quite a lot now all along. So I am really excited about this year's tomatoes. And these other side, these are all the slices. I can see the brandy wine, it's now setting fruit all along. So we've got all sorts in here actually. We have got Vilma, the little bush variety of tomatoes. We have got cucumbers, celery growing in here, marigold, all sorts. Oh, this green giant, my favorite tomato, is looking rather large now. That's amazing. And the glorious Black Beauty. Can you see how much tomato is on this Black Beauty plant? Looking amazing. And then we've also got now baby cucumbers, they're growing as well. What is awesome. But let me show you all these squash babies now growing on this plant all along. I am just honestly hoping they are all gonna be edible, because it is a jungle. And can you see that sunflower just reached the top of my polytunnel? Wow. This Amish paste is looking good. Oh wow, look what I've just noticed. We have got our first sweet pea opened. Oh wow. And with this beautiful zinnia. It's magnificent. And so we've got a row of carrot in here as well as some, I think it's a cucumber or a gherkin. And over here I'm growing all the cherry varieties of tomatoes. They are looking fantastic with some volunteer lettuce. I put some marigold and snapdragon over here, and all along we've got some zinnia growing, sweet potato, and another massive volunteer sunflower. Well, thank you so much for spending time with me today. I managed to do the whole tour, all the inside the tunnel and outside the tunnel. The next couple of vlogs is gonna be about preserving the harvest, so if you're interested, you are welcome. But for now, bye friends.